Hi, good afternoon, friends. Welcome all of you to the YouTube channel of BYJU'S Exam Prep. I am Gourav Gupta, and today, like I promised all of you, that today I'll be taking you through to the session in which we'll be discussing the questions of percentages and its applications in profit and loss and simple interest compound interest for the examination which is going to be conducted in the month of June. So the examination is MAH CET MBA 2022, and today in this session we'll be looking at this particular topic of percentages and its applications. All right. So I hope all of you would have seen my session yesterday in which I have discussed the roadmap to MAH CET examination. And after this session of roadmap to MAH CET examination, I promised you that I'll be coming through with the sessions on percentages, ratios, time, speed, distance, and different topics of QA. So hello and welcome all of you. Samir, good afternoon. Abhishek, good afternoon. Is my voice audible to all of you? Can you please confirm? Guys, can you please confirm now that I am audible to all of you or not? All right. Now audible. All right, Samir, thank you very much. Okay, so thank you for confirmation. And all the students who are there in this session, good afternoon. A very good afternoon to all of you. I am Gourav Gupta, and today we'll be taking on percentages and its applications in simple interest, compound interest, and profit and loss. All right. Okay, so good afternoon to all of you, right? Yash, you are asking us to publish MAH CET 2021 paper on our website. All right, Yash. If the paper is available to us, definitely we'll publish it on our website. I'll request the backend team. I'll also request the content and IT team for the same in case we have it. Good afternoon, all of you. Satish, Shaik, Abhishek, Vaijnath, Maheshwari, Sweetie, good afternoon, all of you. All right. So, friends, let's start this session. Now, as you all know, in this session, I'll be taking on the topic of percentages and its applications. And like I promised, first of all, I'll be telling you some of the tricks and techniques using which you'll be able to save a lot of time. You'll be able to reduce the length of the solution. All right. So let's quickly start without wasting any time. Now, friends, the most important thing if I talk about percentages is the percentage equivalence of fractions. Yes, the percentage equivalence of fractions. Now, by percentage equivalence of fraction, I mean that if let's say any fraction is given to us and we will convert it into percentages or vice versa, then like if we'll remember some of these percentage equivalence of fractions and will be able to directly use it in the question, then definitely we'll be saving plenty of time. Okay, बिलीव मी इनका बहुत डायरेक्ट यूसेज होता है क्वेश्चंस के अंदर एंड मोस्ट ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस रिवॉल्व्स अराउंड these percentage equivalence of fractions. All right, so to start with, I'll present these percentage equivalence of fractions. I want all of you to quickly take a piece of pen and a paper. So जल्दी से एक रफ शीट निकाल लो, एक रफ नोटबुक निकाल लो and start noting down these percentage equivalence of fractions, because these percentage equivalence of fractions will be helpful for all of you in today's session as well. All right, so I'll be stopping on every slide, the next 3 slides for 30 seconds, and I want all of you to note down these commonly used percentage equivalence of fractions. And today we are going to see the usage of all these in the questions that we'll be doing. All right, so the first set, quickly note it down, percentage equivalence of fractions. I'll also explain you. So let's say if a question is asking us to calculate 50%, किसी भी क्वेश्चन में 50% निकालना है किसी भी चीज का. Okay, so 50%, that means half of that value. So I can associate the fraction of 1 by 2 with 50%. So I can use them interchangeably. So 50% लिखा हुआ है तो मैं 1 by 2 लिख सकता हूं, 1 by 2 लिखा हुआ है तो मैं 50% लिख सकता हूं. Okay, now these initial cases like 1 by 2, 1 by 4, 1 by 8, 1 by 16, they are commonly used in the questions. All right, now 1 by 2, 1 by 4 का इतना ज्यादा यूसेज नहीं मिलेगा जितना आपको 1 by 8, 1 by 16 का यूसेज मिलेगा. So 1 by 8 can be written as 12.5% and 1 by 16 can be written as 6.25%. Similarly, going below, these values. 1 by 3 is 33.33%. 1 by 6 is 16.67 percentage. Okay, so if in a question you are asked to calculate 16.67 percentage of, let's say, a number 306. अब यार 16.67 percentage देखने में तो इतना अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है, और 306 is also not a very comfortable number. So if I know these percentage equivalents of fractions, I can replace this 16.67 by 1 by 6. So 1 by 6 into 306. Now I can easily calculate the answer. All right, 306 is completely divisible by 6. I'll divide it and the answer will be 51. So it will become a little faster if I can convert these percentages into their fractional equivalents. So I hope all of you must have noted. So those who have noted it down, quickly write yes in the chat box. Show me your presence. Show me that you are present in this lecture. So please note down all these. Now, agar aapko yaad hai, if you already remember these percentage equivalents of fractions, you don't need to write all these. Okay, but I am telling all the other students who don't remember these percentage equivalents of fraction, they struggle to remember this. So try to learn them in this manner. So what I've done is I have established a relation between these. So 1 by 3 कितना है? 33.33. याद करने में आसानी होगी. ये देखो 1 by 3 को अगर half कर देंगे, if I take half of 1 by 3, it will become 1 by 6. Okay, so just divide 33.33 by 2. So 16.67 आ जाएगा. Then again 1 by 6 divided by 2 is 1 by 12. So 16.67 divided by 2 is 8.33. Further continuing for 1 by 24. So 1 by 12 divided by 2 is 1 by 24. 8.33 divided by 2 is 4.16. Right? Similarly, the other values. All right. Okay, wonderful. So all of you have noted. Now I'll take you to the next sheet where you'll find some more percentage equivalents of fractions which are commonly used. Okay. Now we still have good amount of time for our examination. I want all of you to take just 1 or 2 days and try to memorize all these percentage equivalents of fractions. Now, one beautiful way to remember all these percentage equivalents of fractions will be just write them on a sheet of paper, take printouts of the same sheet or take Xerox copies of the same sheet and post it at 2 or 3 places in your house. So जिस भी place पे ज़्यादा time spend करते हो, if you spend more amount of time in your bedroom, so post it somewhere near your bed, near your almirah. If you spend more amount of time in your washroom, so washroom में एक जाके चिपका दो. Okay, so ऐसे 2-3 जगहों पे चिपका दो, and there is no harm in doing that because you will be basically helping yourself scoring more in your examination. Okay, please do that. Now next important fractions, 1 by 7. So I've written all these things so that I can create a relation between them. So 1 by 7 14.28 है, उसका half किया, फिर उसका half किया. So 1 by 14 and 1 by 28. Now ये वाला जो row है ये बहुत ज्यादा use होता है. 1 by 9, 1 by 11. Okay, so if you can remember 1 by 9, 1 by 11, अब इनको एक साथ याद कर सकते हो. 1 by 9 के केस में 11 यूज हो रहा है, 11.11. 1 by 11 के केस में 9 यूज हो रहा है, 9.09. 1 by 18 is half of this value. 1 by 22 is half of this value. Then others 1 by 13, 1 by 17 and so on. 1 by 19, 1 by 20, 1 by 21. So you may remember all these values. All right. Okay. Now let me take you to the next sheet. All of you focus now. Now these are not very important. So the students who are very ambitious, जिनको कोई problem नहीं है ये कुछ numbers याद करने में, so they can remember, they can also remember these values. All right. So these are some others, so which are not frequently used, but जो मैंने first 2 sheets दिखाई थी, those percentage equivalents of fractions are frequently used. Okay. Now before I'll jump to the questions, I'll give you one small usage, how to basically use these percentage equivalents of fractions. Now, one small usage I have already shown you. So let's talk about percentage change. All right. Now, percentage change is one thing that is like asked in most of the questions. Kitna percentage change hua hai, percentage increase, percentage decrease. So we know that the basic formula for percentage change is change in value divided by initial value multiplied by 100. Okay, so this is how we calculate percentage change. All right. Now, the problem is when you are given some value, let's say original value, initial value, I'll write it as let's say 48. So initial value is 48. Now the question tells us that there is an increase. There is an increase of let's say 7.69 percentage. There is an increase of, या फिर मैं थोड़ा सा easy fraction दे देता हूँ. Wait. So there is an increase of let's say 8.33 percentage. सब लोग बोलोगे कि ये मैंने easy दिया है क्या? नहीं. So easy है. So there is an increase of 8.33 percentage. All right. Now first of all understand this word increase. So before this, if let's say I have to calculate 8.33 percentage of 48. Okay, so what you can do is 8.33. Now you can memorize, like, can you recall how can I replace 8.33 with its fractional equivalent? Anyone can write it in the chat box. What is 8.33 in terms of fractions? Come on, if you have noted it down, you can easily write it. So 8.33 is how much? 1 by 12. Now 1 by 12 of 48 kitna aega? 4. Okay, now I can add 4 to this value 48 and the final value will become 48 plus 4, that is 52. Yes, wonderful. So Mr. Bin Laden, Kartikeya, Suraj, Aishwarya, Samriddhi, Samiksha, Shaikh and Mr. Sahil, Abhishek, Shama, Varun, lovely people, lovely. Okay, so this is one way I can do that. So मेरे को बोला गया था that increase 48 by 8.33 percentage. So one way I did this question was I calculated 8.33 percentage of 48, which is 4, and I added to the initial value to get the final value. All right. Now another way I can do is an increase of 8.33 percentage. So I can say that final value will be equal to initial value. Let's say it is X. Okay. So initial value plus 8.33 percentage of initial value. All right. I can write it as X plus 8.33% kya hoga? 1 by 12 of X. So the final value will be 1 plus 1 by 12. अगर मैं x common ले लेता हूँ, 1 plus 1 by 12, which is 13 by 12 of the original value. So this is one another way you can do these questions. So what I did was 8.33 percentage कितना होता है? It is 1 by 12. 1 plus 1 by 12 is 13 by 12. So the final value will be 13 by 12 times the original value. Okay. Now original value was 48. So I can write it as 13 by 12 into 48. 12 and 48 cancel ho jayenge. So 13 into 4 is 52. So I'll get the same answer. All right. So 13 by 12 of the initial value will be the final value. Am I clear? Now, instead of increase, let's say agar yahan pe decrease hota, if there would have been a decrease of 8.33 percentage. So in this case, I would have written 1 minus 1 by 12, that is 11 by 12 of the original value. Okay, so earlier I did 1 plus 1 by 12 to calculate the final fraction. Now I can write 1 minus 1 by 12 to calculate the final fraction. All right, now this is a very big usage of percentage change or percentage equivalence of fractions in our questions. All right, okay. All right, so let's move on to the questions. So these are some basic things that you need to remember. Obviously, you need to work on remembering these percentage equivalence of fractions because you cannot carry this list of fractions in the examination hall. Okay, so इनको रटना पड़ेगा, समझना पड़ेगा. Whatever method you are using to remember these, it's totally up to you, but you will have to make some efforts. Okay. So now let's quickly jump on to the questions. Now for each of these questions that we'll be discussing in the class, round about 15 questions I have selected. Now these are not the previous year paper questions. I have made these questions myself in the last 2 days. Okay, just to make sure that you will understand the concept, and whatever things I want to teach you, these things should reach you in this 1 hour session. All right, so I have made these questions myself, just telling you that these are not previous year paper questions of MHCT, but these are the questions of the similar difficulty level that we are going to see in MHCT examination. All right, so let's start with this. The question number 1 on your screen now. Now I'll be giving you not more than 1 minute for each of these questions. So after 1 minute, exactly after 1 minute, I'll start with the solution. So for every question, 1 minute, please do it quickly. All right, Mahesh is the first one to give me an answer. Nice, Mahesh, good. Okay, now let's start with the solution. Now in the question, you can see that there are two fractions which are involved. So one is 40% and one is 33.33%. Okay, now let's talk about each of these fractions each of these percentages one by one. Now if I look at 40%, I can write it as 40 upon 100. If I'll convert it into fraction, it will be 2 upon 5. All right, and 33.33, we already know that it will be 1 by 3. All right, now we have three people, A, B and C. A, B and C, we have three people. Now question's second line says that salary of B is 33.33% more than that of C. So if C's salary is considered as X, I can say that B's salary will be 33.33% more than that of C. That means 1/3 more than that of C, or I can write it as 1 plus 1 by 3 times the value of C, that is X. So it will be equal to 4 upon 3X. This is the first part. All right. Okay. Now let's read the first line. Now it says that salary of A is 40% more than that of the salary of B. Now 40% more, that means it will be 1 plus 2 upon 5 times the salary of B. Okay. Now 1 plus 2 by 5 will be 7 upon 5, and the salary of B is 4 upon 3x, and that will become 28 upon 15x. All right. So this will be the salary of salary of A in terms of salary of C. All right. This is one way. Okay. So now if I'll compare salary of A and C, so we have to find out A's salary is what percentage more than that of C. So if you look at this, A's salary is 28 upon 15 times the salary of B. Okay, अब इसको मैं कैसे लिख सकता हूं? I can write it as 1 plus 13 upon 15. Okay, so 1 plus 13 upon 15. So that means salary of A is 13 by 15 more than that of salary of salary of C. Okay, अब 13 upon 15 आ गया है, इसको मुझे क्या करना है? I have to convert it in terms of percentages. अब 1 by 15 का अगर याद है, 1 by 15 कितना होता है? Anyone? 1 by 15, it is 6.66. All right. So या तो इसको 13 से multiply कर दो. Otherwise, I'll give you an easier way for this. Now 1 by 15 6.66 है, तो 2 by 15 कितना हो जाएगा? It will be 13.33. Okay. So 13 upon 15 कैलकुलेट करने के लिए मैं ये लिख सकता हूं ना, 1 minus 2 by 15. Now 1 का परसेंटेज कितना होता है? 100%. 2 by 15 मैं ऑलरेडी कैलकुलेट कर चुका हूं. So answer will come out to be 86.67%. Okay. I know I have told you a lot of things in this question, but understand whatever I have done carefully. Okay, now what I have done is I have taken so many factors in this question, so many things in this question, but you can take all these things one by one, understand them, and like a small part of this question can be the actual question in your examination. Am I clear? So here the correct answer will be option C. All right. Okay. Now in this class, you will have more of a learning. So don't test yourself. Just keep answering to whatever I'm asking you. Okay. Just keep supporting the calculations that I'm doing, and we will have a huge amount of learning at the end of the session. All right. Now let's move ahead and look at the next one. Yes, Aishwarya, I'll repeat the last part. Now, Aishwarya, in the last part, what happened was I need to convert this thing into its percentage equivalent. So one way is 1 by 15 is 6.66. So 13 by 15. 13 by 15 kitna ho jayega? It will be 13 multiplied by 6.66. But this type of calculation will take a lot of time. Okay. So what I did was I have converted 13 by 15 and I have written it as 1 minus 2 by 15. 1 minus 2 by 15 is 13 by 15, of course. Okay. So मैंने 2 by 15 calculate कर लिया. So 1 by 15 was 6.66, 2 by 15 was 13.33, and I subtracted 13.33 from 100. All right. Okay. Now it's same as Aishwarya and Dark Harshal. It is same as calculating 3 by 4. So I can write 3 by 4 as 1 minus 1 by 4. Okay. Now 1 को अगर percentage में convert करेंगे, it is 100%, and 1 by 4 का percentage होता है 25%. So it will come out to be 75%. So 3 by 4 can be written as 75%. All right. Okay. So this was question number 1. Let's move on to our next question, question number 2. Now question number 2 is find the compound interest received by Abhinav after 3 years if rupees 54,000 is invested for 33.33 rate of interest. So rate of interest is 33.33. Principal is 54,000. We have invested it for 3 years, compounded interest. Now I'll tell you a wonderful way of dealing with the questions of compound interest. All right. Come on, keep writing your answers, calculate it, and post your answer in the chat box. Now this is not simple interest, this is compound interest. So be careful with this. All right. Now let's have a look at how we can solve this question very easily without using the formula of compound interest, but using the concept of percentages. Okay. Now, first important thing that happens in compound interest. Now, all of you listen to me carefully. Stop doing whatever you are. What happens in compound interest? Now, for every year, we get interest on the principal as well as we get interest on the interest of the previous years. Okay. So one beautiful way of calculating compound interest is, so here I have to do it for 3 years. So first year, second year, and third year. Now 33.33% is nothing but 1/3, right? So in the first year, the compound interest that I will get will be 1/3 of 54,000. So 54,000 divided by 3 is 18,000. So this is the interest of first year. Okay, keep listening to me very carefully. I'll not be able to repeat each and everything again and again. All right. So first year, the interest is 1/3 of 54,000. Now, if it is compound interest, the interest for second year can be calculated as, so what I'll do is I'll copy this value of the first year. So it will be 18,000 plus I'll calculate interest on this value at the same rate of interest. So 33.33% of 18,000, that means 1/3 of 18,000, it will be 6,000. All right, so this will be the total interest this will be the total interest for this year. All right, so that is 24,000. Am I clear? So this was the second part, right? Second year. Now I'll move on to the third year. So to calculate the interest of third year, so this was the total interest of second year. So to calculate the interest of third year, I hope I am audible and visible, right? Yes, I am. So to calculate the interest for third year, I'll copy the value of second year, which is 24,000, and will generate interest on the interest of second year. So 1/3 of 24,000 will be 8,000. All right. So the total interest for third year will be 32,000. Right. So now the total compound interest will be the sum of these three values. In तीनों को add कर दो and you will get your answer. So 18,000 plus 24,000 plus 32,000. That will be the total value. So it will be equal to 74,000. And yes, 74,000 will be the total compound interest which is asked in the question. All right. So this is the easiest way of dealing with the questions of compound interest, right? No need to use the formula. I have never used the formula of compound interest in my life. I've been teaching since last 15 years. 15 साल हो गए मुझे calculate ये सब चीजें पढ़ाते हुए. But I've always told my students not to cram the formula of compound interest, but to apply the logics of percentages. Okay. Now let's move on to the next question for this lecture. Now, due to COVID-19, the capacity of a theater decreased by 40%, but the price of the ticket is increased by 50%. Find the percentage change in overall revenue. Wonderful, Shaikh. You have done it using the same way. Lovely. Good. Now, friends, probably it may happen that you may not know all the things that I am telling you in this lecture, but definitely you can learn these things and maybe apply whenever you will be solving some different set of questions. Okay. All right. Now, one lovely way of doing this is, now we have two things, capacity and the price. So capacity C and price is P. So the total revenue will be the product of capacity and the price of each ticket. Now to start with, I'm assuming the capacity as 10 and also the price as 10. So the initial revenue will be 10 into 10, that is 100. Okay. Now the question says that due to COVID, the capacity of the theater decreased by 40%. So 10 जो value है इसको 40% से decrease करना है. Now 40% of 10 कितना होता है? 4. So this value will be decreased by 4 and it will become 6. Okay. The price of the ticket is increased by 50%. So 50% increase, that means it has increased by 5. So it will become 15. So the new revenue will be 6 into 15, that is 90. Original revenue was 100, new revenue is 90. It has dropped by 10 rupees over the initial value of 100. So the change will be 10 upon 100 into 100 लिख सकते हो, and it will come out to be 10% decrease. Okay, so the correct answer will be option D, which is 10% decrease. All right. Okay, so most of you have given a perfect answer. Samriddhi, Chinta, Shama, Shaikh, Aditya, Prajwal, Abhishek. Yes, so all of you have given correct answer. Gourav, good. All right, so let's move on to our next question. Nitin spends 25% of his income on rent. Read this question very carefully. Read this word properly. Okay. Now, Nitin spends 25% of his income as rent, 20% of the remaining for day-to-day expenses, 20% of the remaining for his certificate courses. Find the salary received by Nitin if he's left with 24,000 rupees finally. All right, now let's have a look at a perfect way of solving this question. I'll assume that the initial salary is 100x. I have to take a variable. Instead of x, I have assumed it as 100x. थोड़ा सा calculation में आसानी होगी. Okay. Now first expense is rent. So rent is 25% of his income. So 25% of 100x will be 25x. And the remaining salary after paying rent will be 100x minus 25x. That is 75x. Okay. So now remaining salary is 75x. Now he spent 20% of the remaining for day-to-day expenses. So day-to-day expenses, how much? 20% of remaining. Now इसका 20% कितना होगा? 1/5 of this, 1/5 of 75x, that means 15x. So 15x इसने spend कर दिया day-to-day expenses. So now remaining value will be 75x minus 15x, that is 60x. Okay. Now further 20% of the remaining he spent for his certificate courses. So certificate courses पे इसका 20% spend कर दिया. That means 12x. So now remaining will be equal to 48x. All right. So now this remaining value 48x is given as 24,000. Right. So the value of x will come out to be, आराम से cancel करते हैं, it will come out to be 500. All right. So x की value 500 आ गई. So the total salary will be equal to 100 into 500, and that will come out to be 50,000. So the total salary of this person will be 50,000 and this is what we are asked to calculate. Okay. राजेश, MHCT एग्जाम में कैलकुलेटर अलाउड नहीं होता. Okay. All right. So again, most of you have given a perfect answer. Now I want other students who are just listening to me, like in case you are solving, fine, you can take your time in solving this. But if some people are not solving, just sitting idle, please make some efforts. Then only there will be a good amount of learning for all of you. Next question on your screen now. Okay, so by selling a book at rupees 78, Karan earns a profit of 8.33. So question of profit and loss. Again, I'll be applying the concept of percentage equivalence of fractions, percentage change, percentage increase, percentage decrease. Now, these are the only concepts that are there in all these questions. All right, Rajesh, good. First answer. Come on, other students, try to solve this one as well. Shaik, nice. One more thing, guys. Please don't get demotivated in case some of you are unable to solve these questions. It's absolutely fine, yeah. We are here for learning something. Okay, we are here to learn something. So if you are unable to solve, but you are able to understand, that is the more important thing. Okay, so let's have a look at it. Now I'll start by assuming cost price as X. Now profit is 8.33%, which is 1 by 12. Now this is the wonderful application. Okay, so selling price क्या हो जाएगा? Selling price होता क्या है? When cost price is increased by profit percentage, I'll get the selling price. अगर loss है तो cost price को decrease कर दो loss percentage से. So अब यहाँ पे क्या करना है? Cost price which is X, it should be increased by 12%. So I can write selling price as 1 plus 1 by 12, which is 13 by 12 times the cost price. The selling price in the question is given as 78. So the cost price, which is X, will come out to be 72 rupees. All right. So this is the cost price. Now, at what price must he sell the book for a profit of 25%? A profit of 25%, that means 1/4 का profit चाहिए of the cost price. So 72 divided by 4 कितना होता है? It is equal to 18. So I need a profit of 18 rupees on the cost price of 72. So now the new selling price will be 72 plus 18, and that is 90 rupees. So yes, option A, that is 90, is the correct answer for this one. All right. Again, most of you have given a correct answer. Lovely people. Good. Without wasting time, let's move on to our next question. Now, next question, Naveen scored 30% less marks than Kiran's marks. Careful, huh? Naveen scored 30% less marks than Kiran's marks. If Kiran scores 60% of the maximum marks, then what percentage of the maximum marks is Naveen's score? So, thoda complex hai language, but don't you worry. Okay, don't be afraid with the complex language of the question. Okay, nice. Ashish, Aditya, please write your answer once, yaar. I can see it in one go. Okay, so you don't have to write it again and again and again. फिर दोबारा से लिख रहे हो तुम. So Aditya, please just write it once. A request. Okay. Prajwal, Shaik, Samriddhi, Shama, lovely people. Good, good. Okay, let's have a look at it. Now, simple sa question hai. I'm assuming maximum marks as any number. 100 assume kar sakte ho, 100x assume kar sakte ho. So I'm assuming maximum marks as 100. All right. Now, question says that Kiran scores 60% of the maximum marks. Please careful about the base. So Kiran scores 60% of the maximum marks. So 60% of maximum marks, that means 60% of 100, which is 60. Naveen scores 30% less than Kiran's marks. So Naveen का जो score है 30% less है than Kiran's marks. So Naveen's score will be 60 का 30% less. Now 30% of 60 will be 18. 18 होगा. तो नवीन के मार्क्स कितने होंगे? 60 minus 18, that is 42. Okay, so question is, what percentage of maximum marks is Naveen's score? Naveen has 42 out of 100. So Naveen's score will be 42%. And lovely, wonderful people, all of you or most of you have given a correct answer. And जिसने भी correct answer नहीं दिया, I am more inclined towards you understanding the logic. भाई logic समझ में आना चाहिए. Okay, so if you have understood the logic, then quickly like this session. So I'll take a pause for 10 seconds and I want all the students who are there in the session, like this session if you want me to continue further. So like this session, comment in the comment section in case you have any query. Share this session with your friends and do subscribe our channel so that you will not miss any of my upcoming sessions. My next session will be on ratios, mixtures, allegations and averages, and it will be on Sunday. It is scheduled for Sunday. So please wait and watch the next session on Sunday. But meanwhile, please do like this session. Come on. So if you have liked it, let's move on to the next set of questions. So the next question on your screen now. All right. Now the price of a car decreases by 10% every year. Krishna buys a car in 2020 for 8 lakh. Find the price of the car in 2022. That means after 2 years. Okay. So the price has decreased by 10% every year. Okay. Okay, Mr. Sahil. Yes, we are here in the next question. Harshal, if you're not able to solve, try to understand what I'm teaching here. Okay. Now, after this session is over, you have to go back and look at the basics of percentages. Then again, look at this session once more. you will be able to solve most of the questions after that. All right. Now this question is, so initial price is 8 lakhs. Now first decrease is 10%. So 10% of 8 lakhs will be 80,000. So 80,000 से decrease करके कितना आ जाएगा price? 7,20,000. Okay, simple. Now further it will be decreased by 10% once again. So 7,20,000 इसका 10% कितना होगा? It will be 72,000. And then after subtracting this, the final value will be 6,48,000. So a question of less than 20 seconds. We just need to follow the basics. Okay, am I clear? So Ashish, 7,20,000 minus 72,000. Please be careful with the calculation. So answer is 6,48,000. Okay. Good, good. Wish Sailor, you are saying that you are not able to solve but understood the concept. Lovely. So this is our agenda for the session, right? So we are going as per our agenda. In case you are unable to solve, still able to understand. Good, very good. Okay, next question. Now this is a wonderful question. Thoda sa tough hai, okay? But you will be able to learn wonderful thing after this question, okay? In this question, I'll be telling you a wonderful concept, right? A trick to solve such questions very easily, okay? So due to inflation, the price of petrol is increasing by 5% every month. Now, if the price of petrol in March is given, what was the price of petrol in January? That means 2 months pehle ka price पूछा हुआ है. So now final value is given. We have to find out the initial value. All right. Okay. Now listen to this very carefully. I'll give you a shortcut, the fastest way of solving this question. Okay. Now first is, let's assume that the price of January is X, right? Now there is an increase of 5%. Look at the left hand side of your screen, 5% increase. Now if I convert 5% in its fractional equivalent, so it is equal to 1 by 20. Now increase of 5%, that means final value will be 1 plus 1 by 20, that is 21 upon 20 times original value. All right. So the value in the month of February will be 21 upon 20 times the value of January. Similarly, the value of March will be, once again, it is increased by 5%. So again, 21 by 20 times the value of February. February ka value kitna hai? 21 upon 20. So the final value will be 21 upon 20 multiplied by 21 upon 20 x, and this is given as 132.3. Okay. So the value of x will be 1323 divided by 10, मैंने decimal हटा दिया right side से, multiplied by 20 multiplied by 20 divided by 21 divided by 21. अब simple calculations करनी है. 21 को cancel कर दो यहाँ से, so it will be 63. Again 21 and 63 will cancel, यहाँ पे 3 आ जाएगा. 10 and 20 will cancel, यहाँ पे 2 आ जाएगा. So 3 into 2 into 20, that is 120 will be the final answer. Okay, so the price of petrol in January was 120 rupees, and the correct answer is option C, that is 120. All right, so the application was only simple. 5% I converted into 1 by 20. An increase of 5% means the final value will be 21 upon 20 times the original value. Since the price increased for 2 consecutive months, so 21 upon 20, ये जो fraction है ये 2 बार multiply हो जाएगा with the initial value, and this will give you the final price, that is 132.3. and using like basic calculations है उसके बाद तो, so x का value आ जाएगा 120. All right. Okay. Now let's move on to our next question. थोड़ा सा लेंदी क्वेश्चन लग रहा है बट आसान है. Not a very difficult question. Wait. Shaikh, I am unable to understand your question, so please reiterate this. Okay. Meanwhile, Suraj, I think probably you would have joined late, so that is why you are unable to understand why we have taken 1 plus 1 by 20. Okay. So in case you have joined late, don't you worry. I have explained all these things at the beginning of this lecture, why we are taking 1 plus 1 by 20, because there was an increase. Okay. So you can go back, थोड़ा सा rewind करो, थोड़ा सा पीछे जाओ, scroll back करो, and you will be able to understand this particular thing. Meanwhile, our next question, just try to make some equations in this. Okay. Now this is a simple question of simple interest, but thoda sa lengthy hai. I'll be telling you the proper way of basically making these equations and solving the equations. Okay. Now Arjun invested a total of rupees 5,000 in banks A and B. So let's say in bank A he invested A amount and in bank B he invested B amount. Okay, so first equation I can make is A plus B equals 5,000. Simple equation. Keep it aside. Ashish and Krishna have already given the answers. Nice, good people. Now in A, the money is invested for 2 years at 10% rate of interest. So 2 years, 10%, and this is simple interest. तो simple interest क्या होता है? Multiply होता रहता है. Okay. So 1 year में 10% मिलेगा तो 2 years में 20%. So interest will be 20% of A. Then B पे कितना मिला है? For 3 years at a rate of 5%. So 3 into 5, that is 15% on B. All right. And the total interest is 930. So the equation I can write is 0.2A plus 0.15B and that is equal to 930. अब हमें वैल्यू किसका निकालना है? Find the principal amount invested in bank A. So that means we have to find the value of A. So value of A के लिए B eliminate करना है. So on the left hand side, I'll multiply this entire equation by 0.15. So 0.15A plus 0.15B and that is 0.15 into 5,000. That will be 750. Okay. So one equation is already written here. I'll write the second equation below it and I'll be able to eliminate B and get the value of A. Subtraction karo. So on the left hand side 0.05A, it is equal to 180. So the value of A will come out to be 3600 and this will be your final answer. Option D you can mark and move on to the next question. Okay. All right. Now Shaikh is asking, sir, I mean for the inflation or decrement types of question, 2020 value is given and they asked for 2022. I took this as 3 times. Okay. So Shaikh simple counting. 2020 का value given है. एक बार इंक्रीज करेंगे 2021 का वैल्यू आ जाएगा, दो बार इंक्रीज करेंगे 2022 का वैल्यू आ जाएगा. Okay, so it's basic. All right. Okay. Now let's move on to next question. A very small question, simple one. Find the profit earned by Siddharth if he marks up his goods by 80% and sells them for rupees 3,200 by giving a discount of rupees 400. So a very straightforward question, huh? Simple question hai. Don't commit any mistake in this. All right. Ashish, good. You have been consistent in answering these questions. Impressive. Nice. Other students as well, please do participate. Solve karo. Write your answer in the chat box. Now I'll start by assuming the cost price as 100x. He marks his goods up by 80%. So market price will be 80% more than 100x. So it will become 180x. Later on, he gave a discount of 400. So selling price will be 400 less than 180x. Okay. And this value is given as, selling price is given as 3200. So this equation is already made. So 180x is 3600. So the value of x will be equal to 0, 0 cancel, and it will be 20. So the value of x is 20. So the cost price here will be 100 into 20. That is 2000. Now what do we have to calculate? We have to calculate the profit in this case. All right. So here profit kya hoga? Cost price 2000 and selling price 3200. So the profit here will be 3200 minus 2000, and that is 1200. So the correct answer is 1200. And yes, Ashish, Shaikh ne nahi the answer. Maheshwari, Shaikh has also given the answer. Shama, Samriddhi and Mr. Sahil, all these people have given the answer. In case you have committed any mistake, please understand what mistake you have done and please don't repeat it. All right. Moving on to the next question. Rohit scored 60% of the total marks. His score was 32 more than the passing marks. Mohit scored 40% of the total marks. His score was 18 less than the passing marks. We have to find out the marks scored by Rohit. Yes, I am waiting for your answers. Ashish, Krishna, lovely, good. All right. Now here I'll start this question by assuming the maximum marks or the total marks. Okay, so total marks, let's say it is 100x. Okay, now we are given two people. First of all, Rohit. Rohit scored 60% of total marks. That means mark scored by Rohit is 60x. Mohit has scored 40% of total marks. Mohit is 40x. All right. Now Rohit's score is 32 more than passing marks and Mohit score is 18 less than the passing marks. So Rohit is 32 more than passing and Mohit is 18 less. So the gap between Rohit and Mohit will be 32 plus 18, that is 50. Okay, so एक person इसमें 32 more है और दूसरा 18 less है for a particular value, with a particular value. So the gap between these two people will be equal to 50 marks. So the gap, that means 20x का gap है इनमें and that is equal to 50. So the value of x will be equal to 5 by 2. All right, so value of x is 5 by 2. Now let's see, what do we have to calculate? We have to calculate the marks scored by Rohit. Okay, so Rohit के marks निकालने हैं, careful. So Rohit's marks is 60x, 60 into 5 by 2, and that will be equal to 150. And yes, option D is the correct answer. All right. Okay. So lovely. A lot of you have given correct answer. Ashish, Krishna, Shaikh, Prajwal. प्रज्वल ने थोड़ा सा गड़बड़ कर दिया. शमा, समृद्धि, shots or what, ऐश्वर्या, धर्मी, चिंता and Mr. Sahil. All right, let's move on to our next question. Now before we move to the next question, people who are liking this session but they don't have hit the like button, अभी तक like नहीं किया है but you are liking it inside yourself. So please show your emotions and hit the like button. Okay, we'll move on after this. So we'll still have plenty of questions left. So do comment and share and subscribe. Please do like this before we move ahead. Now let's move on to next question without wasting any amount of time. Okay, now next question. Now these are some typical questions that we definitely find in the examinations. Suraj, your answer was also correct for the previous one. Nice. Gaurav, are you tired? You're asking how many more questions? So probably 4-5 questions more, Gaurav. I'll not keep you busy for a lot of time. Don't worry. So shall we stop, people? Shall we stop solving some more questions? No. Okay. So Sahil B, all right. Samriddhi says no. Let's keep going. All right. Yes, Aishwarya, we are not stopping. So whatever agenda is there, I'll finish it. Okay. And if people you are tired, no, you're not allowed to be tired. Okay. So if I'm not tired, you are also not allowed to be tired. It's your examination. Okay. So keep just like attending this session and keep learning a lot of things. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. I'm not going to stop people. Okay. So in an election between two candidates, अब ये बहुत अच्छा क्वेश्चन है, ठीक है? Listen carefully. Party A gets 8% of total valid votes more than Party B. Now I'll stop here. Party A and Party B. अब कितने कितने वोट्स मिले हैं? पार्टी ए को 8% ज्यादा वोट्स मिले हैं as compared to Party B. Now 8% of the total valid votes, right? So the difference between them is 8% of total valid votes, and this difference is given as 720. Okay, right. Find the total number of votes if 10% of the votes are considered invalid. So I'm assuming total votes, TV, I'm writing it as total votes on the left hand side of the screen as 100x. So valid votes kitne honge? It will be 10% less than this value, which is 90x. All right. So if total votes are 100x, 10% votes are invalid. So valid votes will be 90x. Now the difference, which is 8% of valid votes, that means 8% of 90x, it is given as 720. So 8% of 90x kitna hoga? It will be 7.2x, and this is given as 720. So the value of x will come out to be 100. All right. Now what we have to find out? Find the total number of votes. So total number of votes will be 100x. So 100 into 100, it will be 10,000. So 10,000 will be the total number of votes. People who have committed a mistake, guys, ऐसे ना options होंगे. They are not asking you to calculate valid votes. They are asking you to calculate the total number of votes polled. So total number of votes polled will be option B, and that is 10,000. Okay. Now people understand, like obviously, like at the beginning of the session, I have told you that I have made all these questions myself. Now I have spent good amount of time in making these options as well. Options banane mein bhi dimag lagta hai so that I can trap all the users who are solving these questions. Okay, so please don't fall under this trap and move on to our next question. A small question: profit earned by selling a table at rupees 7,200. So selling price is given, profit percentage is given. Find the loss incurred by selling the same table at rupees 6,000. Manan, I'm really sorry. I might not be conducting a session for basic calculations like subtractions, additions, multiplications, and divisions. I'm really sorry, but whatever is required for this particular examination, like at the beginning of today's session, I have given you some of the tricks which will be used in the questions of percentages. In my previous sessions, if you'll attend, I have covered some of the tricks and techniques also to improve your calculations. But I'm really sorry, I'm afraid, because I cannot conduct this session. It will not be justifiable for other students. Okay. And I'll definitely be conducting sessions on different topics. Okay. All right. Now let us assume that the cost price is X. Profit is 12.5%, which can be written as 1 by 8. Now, friends, I'm hopeful that these percentage equivalents of fractions are helping you. Okay. So selling price kitna ho jayega? X when increased by 1 by 8. So it will become 1 plus 1 by 8. That is 9 by 8. 9 by 8 times X. And the selling price is given as 7,200. Okay. So the value of X or the cost price will be equal to 6,400. Simple calculations. Now the question is, find the loss incurred by selling the same table at 6,000. So if I'm selling it at 6,000, this is the cost price and this is the selling price. So the loss will be of rupees 400 over the cost price of 6,400. Now let's see a beautiful usage of percentage equivalence of fractions. अब इसको अगर simplify करोगे तो ये आ जाएगा 1 by 16. Now, if you remember the percentage equivalent of 1 by 16, which is 6.25 percentage, then you can save those 5 to 10 seconds as well, which you would have taken in this calculation. So yes, the correct answer is 6.25%. Now, my dear friends, did you understand the usage of percentage equivalence of fractions? Yes. Now, Mr. Sahil, थोड़ा सा like एक छोटी सी लॉजिक बताता हूं. Profit and loss percentages are always calculated on cost price. ठीक है? So now you will never commit a mistake. So profit and loss percentages are always calculated on cost price. So denominator में 6,000 नहीं आएगा, denominator में 6,400 आएगा. All right? So denominator should be the cost price, not the lesser value, but the cost price, whatever it is. Okay? Next question on your screen now. Yes, Manan, I'm really sorry for that. All right, so next question. Nitya bought 2 watches for rupees 4,000. She sold one at a loss of 30% and another at a profit of 30%. Find the net profit or loss incurred by Nitya. All right, nice. Now, those who have already given the answer, in short, can you give me the reason of your answer? Come on, quickly. In short, just quickly give me the reason of your answer. All of you. I'm waiting. Yes, Aishwarya, Sunday there is a session of ratios. In ratios session, I'll be covering ratios, averages, mixtures, and allegations. The questions on that. Okay. After that, on Wednesday, there is a plan for time, speed, distance. Okay. All right. All right. So, yes. So, some of you are right. Good. Now, friends, such like see these small words makes huge difference. A question says that Nitya bought 2 watches for rupees 4,000. Some of you have assumed that Nitya has bought these 2 watches at equal prices? No, my dear friends, it is not given. So each is not written in this question. So the question is not Nitya bought two watches for rupees 4,000 each. Nahi. This is Nitya bought two watches for rupees 4,000. So a total of 4,000. I don't know the separate cost price of these two watches. Okay. So the answer is as simple as cannot be determined. All right. Am I clear? In case it would have written that Nitya bought two watches for rupees 4,000 each, sold one at a profit of 30%, another at loss of 30%. In that case, answer would have been no profit, no loss. But here, this question was very logical. And I think only one student has given a correct answer. Okay. So yes, the answer is cannot be determined. Nitya bought these two watches. They are talking about cost prices. Some of you might think that answer is 360% loss. गाइज वो किस केस में होता अगर यहाँ पे सेलिंग प्राइस गिवन होता. So the question is, if selling price of two articles is same, one is sold at X% profit, another at X% loss, the net there will be a loss of X square upon 100%. This is one concept. Okay, so answer is also not 360 loss, right? In that case, the selling prices should also be same. But in this question, we were talking about the cost prices, not the selling prices. Okay. So please be careful. Read each and everything carefully. Next question. Karthik borrows money from Venkatesh and agrees to a 5% simple interest for the first 3 years and 10% for the next 3 years. Careful, it is simple interest. If the interest is paid, if the interest paid by Karthik is 3,600 rupees, then find the amount borrowed by Karthik. Careful, quickly. Please pardon some noise that is coming, some disturbance. As it is, this is the last question, I believe. So let's quickly solve it. Karthik borrows money from Venkatesh and agrees for 5% for first 3 years. Simple interest rate of 5% for the first 3 years. That means 5 into 3. It will become 15%. And then 10% for the next 3 years, 10 into 3, which is 30%. So total interest will be 45% of the principal, and this is given as 3,600. All right. So 45% of principal is 3,600. If 45% represents 3,600, then 100% or the principal will represent how much? It will be equal to 8,000. All right. So the question is, find the amount borrowed by Karthik. That means we have to find out the principal. And yes, most of you are correct. Answer is 8,000. Yes, Harshal, ऐसा लग रहा है मुझे भी. But these are my original questions, and I promise all of you that मैंने आशीष को send नहीं किए हैं questions. Now Ashish is pretty fast in solving these questions. Good, Ashish. All right. So yes, my dear friends, answer is 8,000 for this question. And this was our last question for the day. I hope you would have enjoyed this session. If you have, again, quickly hit the like button, those who have not liked this session up till now. Comment something in the comment section if you have any query. Share and subscribe our channel. Now, some useful information for anyone who is looking for a comprehensive program for CAT 2022. So we have started plenty of batches, and the details about this program are given on your screens. To fetch some more details, you can call at the number given at the bottom of your screen. Please do follow us on Insta, subscribe and press the bell icon on YouTube, like us on Facebook, join our Telegram channel, and do download our app from Google Play. So thank you very much, my dear friends. Next lecture for all of you will be on Sunday, where I'll be discussing some of the concepts of ratios, mixtures, allegations, and averages, followed by the questions of these topics. And definitely in coming days, before MHCT examination, I'll be bringing a lot of sessions like this. So thank you very much, my dear friends. Yes, it was wonderful having all of you here. Yes, so Sami's Sunday, it will be a fun day with a lecture on ratios and its applications. So all of you have a nice day. Keep studying. All the best.